Now, based on the instance and static definition itself, what I'll do is, in the yesterday's program, I have taken employee, right? I'm removing employee. I'm creating another object. John is the new student. Next, I won't allocate values. Think and tell what will be the output once I print all the things. Let's say I'm printing John.age.
Maybe default values.
Think
Age will
and
be
tell.
0.
Yeah,
Height
age
can
will
be
be 0. Height will be
0.0.
and what will
And
be
CMR.
is it CMR or is it null?
Null, I
CMR.
think.
It's null.
Okay. How many say null?
I say null.
Okay, Lavanya.
I also say null.
Nidhi. And remaining 3 are CMR?
I'm CMR.
I'm CMR.
Yeah. Let's see how it works. CMR is a college value, right? College in the sense static. So what happens here? I'm creating two objects now. What are the two objects in RAM? I'm allocating two objects. One is Rahul, one is John. What are the memory locations? One is age, one is height. Age, height. So for Rahul, the age and height values are given. So what happens here? Some value will be given and it's stored. For John, the age and height are not given. This is Rahul and this is John. And we have one more thing known as college, which is static. Static in the sense what? Only one location in the method area. So this will be heap area and this will be in the method area. So what is the value? CMR. Now tell me, whenever there is no value, the machine will allocate the default values. So here it will be 0, here it will be 0.0. What about college? Already the value is there. Then will it assign the default value null?
No.
No.
It will take CMR, yeah.
Yeah.
Output CMR. This is important. You need to understand that for static only one location, and this student.college is common. Like college is common to all the students, right?
Yep.
So what will
Yes.
be the value?
Yes.
CMR.
Let's see.
And the next variable is what? Local variable. This is instance variable and static variable we have gone through yesterday. The next topic is local variable. What is local variable? Already we have seen when doing the addition program. Let's say if I take a variable inside the method, like int a equals to 10.
Excuse me, sir. Your voice is sometimes chopping and so it's not audible properly. So okay.
Is it happening for everyone?
Maybe everyone is
No.
on.
Not my side.
Okay.
Because I'm using Wi-Fi and it sounds free.
No, I think maybe everyone is not in mute, right? So that's why maybe it's choppy. I feel like. So
No, it doesn't happen like that. It's the internet
Is it-
issue.
okay. That's okay. No problem.
So system dot out dot println, we print the value. So what is local variable means? The variable declared inside the method. That is the local variable. And the memory is allocated inside stack area. That is the second thing. Memory is allocated inside the stack area. And next thing, if we don't initialize, then error will come. Means if I don't give the value of a here, you will get error. The local variable a may not have been initialized. So only for instance and static, if we don't give any value, then default values will be given. And if I give the value, then whatever the value we initialize will be taken. That is the only difference. Okay. So next thing. These memories are there. JVM contains 5 memory areas, right? How it works internally? What are the memory areas we have? So usually when writing the program, we write and we give it to JVM. So JVM internally assigns the memory, internally executes these blocks. Let's say I have 5 memory areas. One is method area, second is heap area, stack area, PC, and the native. So from this, it is given to internally a just-in-time compiler, JIT, just-in-time compiler or interpreter. Okay, and that from there it goes to the OS, operating system, whatever the operating system we are using, it will go there.
What is J?
Just in time, JIT.
Okay. Just in time.
Just in time compiler, you can say. Okay. Understood?
Yeah.
Anyways. So next, in this, we also have a particular class loader. We have a component known as class loader. So what this class loader will do? Suppose this is the class loader we have. When the static will get executed, when the like object memory is getting loaded, the first thing the memories. Here it is method area. Here it is heap area, stack, native, or first program counter. And next thing will be native. So when you're trying to execute, JVM will take our class. What is the class? Variable dot class. And this class is given to class loader actually. So JVM is executing as we have the main method inside the variable class. JVM execute this class. And while executing, this class is given to a particular class loader. And class loader, what it does, whatever the class static things are there, right? The entire class is getting loaded here. In which memory? Method area. So when the class is getting loaded, for the static, memory is allocated. So at this time, so memory is there, it is getting utilized when we execute the class. When the class is getting loaded by the class loader, then only the memory is getting allocated. After that, when JVM executes this instruction, student, Rahul, new student, then a memory will be allocated for Rahul. Object memory is allocated. Understood. So first, whenever we execute the class, static things will get executed first, then the object related things. After that, inside the local, like for the stack, local variables are getting executed. Understood? Any doubts in this thing?
Local means?
Local variable.
Instant variable.
Okay.
This is local variable, this is instance variables. So not only instance variables, the method or for the class we create the object. Okay, a block can be there. For all these things, the memory will be allocated inside the heap area itself. And what is program counter? It's native, it's not relevant to us because we'll be using only these three things itself. Okay, method area, heap area, and stack area. And the three types of variables will be instance variable and static variable and local variable. Overall, these three types of variables only will exist in Java. That's it. Any doubts till now?
So can you please repeat little bit about that local variable actually? It's not bit clear.
When you declare a variable inside the method,
Yes,
for
sir.
those variables, the memory will be allocated inside the stack area. And when you complete that method, after completion of that method, the memory will be removed. So here, when machine or JVM is trying to execute this main method, when it executes this A, it will allocate the memory inside the stack. Once it comes out of that particular method, the memory is getting removed, deallocated. And what is this object? Till the object exists, the memory will be there for that. If we remove the objects, the memory will be deallocated. Okay. So when the class is executed, then only the memory is allocated for the static things, or else not. So here in Java, everything happens dynamically. Dynamical in the sense, at runtime itself, the memory will be allocated. Everything is managed by JVM itself. With the help of class loader only, it will load the class. So remember the term class loader. Okay. So what does class loader do? It executes or loads the particular class into the method area. That is the functionality of class loader. That's it. Okay.
So do I need to mention somewhere class loader or like just
No,
dot means the class loader here? I mean,
no,
it will automatically.
it's done internally.
Okay.
It is done internally and just telling you how how the memory is allocated for static at what time. So for the static, the memory is allocated. When we write, it won't get allocated. If I write static string college, the memory is not allocated. When this class being executed, then that particular static variables, the memory will be allocated. That's the main point. Okay.
Mhm.
Right.
Basically, in a local variable, once the execution is done, means the memory will again allocate.
Yeah. Whenever you
Okay.
execute the method, the memory will be allocated. And when it
Okay.
comes out, it will be deallocated.
Okay.
So the memory management is very good in Java because of JVM allocating and deallocating and managing everything for us. We don't have to deallocate the memory. We don't have to check all those things. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Next, we need to understand what is methods. I'll just give a introduction and just stop so that tomorrow we can discuss deeply inside the methods. Now, what does the println method do?
Prints the
The
output.
print the
Prints
Prints-
the
Print the
output.
output in next
Output.
line.
What is main method?
starting of execution.
Start of execution.
Execution.
Now tell me, what is the definition of a method?
Is
Method
Method
is
can be written inside the class, but outside the local variable.
method means action like
Yes, action. Means if I want to do something, I'll take the help of method. If I want to print something, println. If I want to start the execution, main. Like that, if I want to take an input method. So different methods are there, but the main definition of method is what? If I want to do some work, I'll do it with the help of method. So simple thing, to do that work, we need to write some instructions. To perform a task, to do some work, or a set of instructions written to perform a task. That is the method definition. A set of instructions written to perform a particular task. Understood? Like if I want to do some work or do execute some task, we use the help of methods. That's it. Any doubts in the definition?
no.
no.
Right. So we have two types of methods. First is predefined method. Second is user-defined method. Predefined in the sense already developed by the software developer. Like we have the println main method. All this comes under predefined methods. which are developed by the software developer. User-defined methods in the sense as we are the programmers, if we create a method on our own, that method is known as user-defined method. Okay, next. But how to identify a method? Every method has two properties so that you can identify it. Every method will have two properties. What are the two properties? First is a return type. Second is parameters. These two are the properties. For example, if I want to write a method, you write it using return type. The method and the parameters. Parameter 1 to parameter n. Open the flower bracket, close the flower bracket. The flower bracket indicates the block of code. Okay, so n number of statements can be written. So usually if I want to write a user-defined method, how we write it? We say sum, open and close parentheses, means there are no parameters here. Parameter in the sense int x, comma float y, int x, int y, float, double, based on the data types. Based on the requirement, we can declare the variables inside the parentheses. That is nothing but parameters. Okay. If I write int a, int b, these two are local variables and are nothing but parameters. So I'm not taking any parameters. Next, I want to perform an addition. Usually what we do for addition, int a equals 10, b equals to 20, and c equals to a plus b. Now, we can return this value. Let's say return c. So where this value is getting transferred, this value is getting transferred to the main method or the main block, you can say. So when you are transferring the value, you need to tell the machine that I am transferring integer type of value. For that, we specify the return type as integer. So why I have taken as int here? Because the C type is nothing but integer. Here the C data type is integer. That's the reason when I am transferring, that integer type of value only is getting transferred. Suppose if I am using double now, what do you mean by that? I am transferring a double value from this particular sum method. Then the return type will be double. Suppose if I make it as long, then what will happen here? It will be changed to long. So the return type purely depends on the type of value we are transferring from sum block to main block. Okay. So here, if it is float, we need to declare it as return type as float. But as it is an integer, we can declare it as integer itself. Okay, understood? So the return type can be anything. It can be integer, it can be float, it can be double, it can be character, it can be string, based on what type of value you are transferring. Based on that, you need to change the return type. Is this point clear? Any doubts?
Can't we write here integer c is equals to a plus b?
We can write it.
Right here.
That will be same, right? Writing above.
Yeah. I saw you already declared earlier, right? Integer type of A, B, and C, and then you finally do the summation. So at the end, I just want to see if we can put integer in C, and then the summation.
Yes,
Is
yes,
it?
yes.
Okay.
We can do that. No issue. Any other doubts?
If we put int in with C, so we don't need to int with sum.
We required it
Okay.
because
So we put the both in C and int in sum.
yes. See, when you are transferring this C, you need to tell the machine that sum is transferring some value. What type of value? Integer value. So it's for the machine, not for us, what we are writing here. Okay.
Okay.
So the JVM or the compiler should understand that here integer type of value is getting transferred. That's the reason.
Mhm. Okay.
Right.
And AB can be integer, and if we want to give C as a float or something, we can write also C as okay.
Yes, no issue. And try these things, like whatever the doubts you are getting, you implement, you execute, then it will be very clear to you when you do it on your own hands. Okay. Next.
Sure.
Suppose now what I'm trying to do, I'm not returning anything. System.out.println, I'm trying to print the value. So when I'm printing the value, we need to tell the machine that I'm not transferring any value. Then instead of int, because I'm not transferring anything, we use void. So void indicates what? Nothing. We don't transfer any value. We cannot use return keyword when we have void. Okay. Any doubts in this thing?
So whenever we are asking system, whenever we are using it system.out.println, do we always have to use void?
Whenever we don't use return keyword, we need to use void.
The output will be same, sir.
Yes, output will be same, but you will understand when you write the entire program, when we return, when we don't return.
Okay.
Any other doubts?
No.
So why we want return type if we can write void?
Yeah, that's what I said. When we write the entire program, sometimes we need to return, sometimes we don't want to return, right? So it's based on the situation and the requirement. That we'll see in the entire program. In this void, it's clear, like when we have to use void, when we are not returning any value, right? So based on these two properties, what we can do, once we can use the return type, like with return type, we can write sometimes, or without return type, we can write sometimes. In the same way, we might have with parameters or without parameters. Okay. So these are the different types. Like you can see, when return type is there, we return the data type. When the return type is not there, we use void. That's it. Okay. And the parameters we can see, like without parameters, and with parameters also we'll see a program. just an introduction, like what is a method, what are the properties of a method. Any doubts?
No.
No doubt.
Yeah, so that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll complete the entire program of methods and it will be clear to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.